All right, let's bring in Mark Halperin and play the Veep Stakes game. Hey, Mark, I hope you had a good Father's Day and are ready to kick off the week in style.
It was outstanding. Lots of swimming. So if my eyes look a little red, it's not because I was up late. It's the chlorine.
Oh, I was about to say, whether you went in the ocean or not, I still think it's a little chilly for the ocean.
No, just a pool.
Just a pool. It's never just a pool, though. It's always a great weekend. All right. Well, Politico did this story that came out this morning, and it lists 8 potential vice presidential candidates for Trump. I'm sure you've seen it, but it's no one that is going to be surprising, right? So they've got this top tier: Marco Rubio, senator from Florida; Doug Burgum, governor of North Dakota. They're at the top, and then J.D. Vance, the senator from Ohio, and then you've got Elise Stefanik, Tim Scott, Byron Donalds, et cetera. Is there anyone that's on the list that Tom Cotton from Arkansas is on there as well that you don't think that you think might be still under consideration? Politico made it sound very certain. There are 8 candidates being vetted. Are there more in your mind?
Sean, according to my sources, Donald Trump will pick either one of the people on that list of 8 or someone else. Look,
you are the best source. Yeah, you knew it. You always bring it.
They're putting out that list. My hunch is that it will be someone on that list. In part because I don't believe the vetting circle's wider than that, but it could be a surprise. We know that all other things being equal, Donald Trump would prefer it be a surprise.
Right.
From talking to people about the list, talking to people who are on the list or their aides, in talking to people what Donald Trump is looking for, and using what I have in less abundance than you do, my knowledge of Donald Trump, I'm still thinking Burgum, Rubio, and Vance are the top tier.
Okay,
I have no idea whether that's really right, but that's my sense of things.
I think you're right. So let me go through a couple of my thoughts and have you respond. First of all, for a while, Katie Britt was the one that everybody thought. Did she just blow it in the State of the Union response? Is that why?
The problem with Katie Britt was the one big doubt that Mar-a-Lago had about her was, would she be seen as too young, not experienced enough on the national stage? And blowing her audition ended any prospect that she could be picked. It's just too risky. I think this is something safe to say. They're not looking for a long ball. This is not John McCain behind picking Sarah Palin as a Hail Mary. They think they're ahead, and they think that they must do no harm with this pick. Katie Britt, as talented as she is, just too risky.
I agree. Okay, good point. My dark horse, and I've said it before, who's not on the list is Lee Zeldin. Yeah. Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Oh.
Disagree.
Okay, tell me why I'm wrong.
Because he falls short in too many of the areas that I think they're looking for. It's not a wow pick. I don't think he can bring in as much money as some of the other people under consideration. He doesn't help Trump with any weak area, and he's not somebody who I think is going to be seen as instantly recognized as ready to be president. Which is not to say he isn't, but I just don't see the logic of Lee Zeldin.
All right. And as I said, just so I'm clear, I think that's the dark horse.
Yeah.
I think that and I don't disagree with some of what you said, but I also do think he could tap into the Jewish money. He's very well thought of in that community. He did a great job as governor. I think Trump thinks, I think he's more MAGA than some of the other people under consideration. He knows how to promote Trump. He did well. He did not win the gubernatorial race, but his expectation level, he carried others over the finish line. Anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Let me just say, I don't disagree that he brings some stuff, but I don't think he brings nearly enough. And Lee Zeldin is not as polished as Rubio or Vance. He's still a little bit, I won't say amateur hour, but he's not an A-level surrogate the way those guys are.
Okay. Fair enough. Let me ask you this, because we keep dancing around this, what someone brings to the table. And I think you and I are aligned on this. I think I agree with your assessment that Trump thinks he's ahead and he wants a buddy, a contemporary. He doesn't look at this and says, wow, that person can help me get over the top here. Yeah. He wants a partner, a loyal promoter of him and his policies, What do you think beyond that some of these people bring?
The ability to bring in $1 billion or so, the ability to beat Kamala Harris in a debate, the ability to go on TV and defend Trump, the ability to bring together different parts of the Republican Party. And in the case of Marco Rubio, the capacity to maybe bring in more Hispanic vote. But what all three of them bring is the only thing in the end that matters as the main thing. Everything else is gravy or addition, which is, are they perceived as ready to be president? Will the press and the public look at them and say, Trump did the responsible thing? There are a lot of unorthodox things about Donald Trump in general and about this candidacy, but that iron rule applies to him. If he picks someone who people say, yeah, he did a responsible thing, I could see that person as vice president, I could see that person as president. Everything else is secondary and tertiary to that.
Okay, so I from a buddy / loyalty / contemporary standpoint, trust, bring in money. I think I put Burgum at the top of the list. Yeah. Do you agree or disagree?
I do, for the reasons you said. I think the thing that Burgum doesn't have that the other two have, and certainly that Rubio has more than Burgum and Vance, is Burgum's been on the national stage for 20 minutes.
Right.
You know, he was not a great presidential candidate. He's been a great surrogate. I'm told he's done very well down at Mar-a-Lago and on the road with President Trump, that Donald Trump likes his wife as well, which is important to him. But you're just taking a little bit of a roll of the dice with the guy. He's an adult. He's got great experience in business, but his national political experience is North Dakota, which is, again, no offense to my friends in North Dakota, it's not Chicago, right? It's not Florida. It's a small state. It's got a different kind of politics. Now, I've been very impressed with him in media. I've been impressed even when he ran for president and didn't do well. I'm impressed with what a grown-up he is. But at the same time, if the primary goal is pick someone who doesn't blow up on the launch pad, you're taking a risk with him because he just hasn't been around.
Yeah, I agree. Although I will, I think we're on the same page on this analysis, because I think what you've seen of him so far, no gaffes. He hasn't said anything that he's had to walk back. He was a CEO. He understands HR, right? And when I say that, I mean that he understands what you can and can't say in a workplace. It was a big company bought by Microsoft. I think that's important.
We're agreeing, as we often do, but I'll push back on that because, as you know, some CEOs make the transition to politics great. Some, as CEOs, expect command and control,
right,
and to just ask for stuff and not get it. And particularly when you're vice president, when Mar-a-Lago is going to tell him, here's who you're hiring, here's where you're going to fly, here's where you're going to campaign, here's where you're going to raise money. It seems like he's on board for that. But again, you're taking a risk. He's only been a chief executive. He's never been a number two.
Right. Oh, I see. The thing that so again, I think we're in visceral agreement here. The thing that's interesting is I always tell people, if you've watched the Mike Pence movie, you know what you're going to get. And he's watched the Mike Pence movie. He goes, okay, Mike was a former governor. This is the role he played. This is what I would be getting. I'd be getting this job. This is the suit that I have.
And look, there's another element that we haven't talked about yet that's not nearly commented on enough. Because of the unique circumstance, Donald Trump is term limited. Whoever he picks, unless it's an absolute caretaker, has the potential to play their cards right, not seem overly ambitious and piss off Trump, but play their cards right and be the front runner for 28.
100%.
And so Burgum wants to be president. If you want to be president, the best thing to do now is to convince Donald Trump you'd be a great vice president and get on the ticket.
Hey, listen, I think this is the greatest bet in the world for a lot of reasons. It's like when people say that Kamala Harris should step down or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, are you kidding me? That woman is sitting there, rubbing her hands going, I am literally a heartbeat away from being president of the United States.